Well, welcome and once again, everybody, to what you know is going to be a great edition of the 19th Hole Podcast for golfers. I'm your host, Dennis Silvers. Glad to have you with us today on whatever platform. We've got a very, very interesting show today, and I think you're going to find it very interesting and informative. And of course, I'm going to tell you a little bit about our special guest. The weather, here in Las Vegas, as I mention every show, it's still been, temperature's gone up a little bit, but you know what? It's still windy. In fact, we have a wind advisory coming up pretty soon with winds blowing 40 to 50, and it's just not good if you want to get out and play golf. So the indoor places are probably going to do pretty good, I would say. And we're going to talk about one particular place where you can go and hit balls to your heart's delight indoors. And they've got a lot of other very, very cool stuff going on as well. So let me get right into it because we've got a lot of show for you today. Let me tell you about our special guest. Her name is Jill Spiegel. In September of this year, just a little while ago, Jill was named president of PGA Tour Superstore. I'm sure a name that's very familiar with you if you're in the golf world at all. She is responsible for all the merchandising and planning, as well as marketing and operational functions of the company. PGA Tour Stores operates 55 stores right now in 21 states. And of course, we're going to ask Jill about their plans for growth and so on and so forth. Jill joined the PGA Superstore family in 2011 as Vice President of Merchandising Soft Goods. She's a 37-year veteran in the retail industry, holding various roles in the area of merchandising. And so Jill holds a bachelor's degree in advertising from Michigan State University as well. And I happen to know a lot of people that went to Michigan State. Obviously a good school. So right now it's my pleasure to bring up on camera the new president of PGA Tour Superstore, Jill Spiegel. First of all, congratulations on your promotion. Secondly, thank you for taking time out of what I know is a really, really busy schedule, and we appreciate you spending some time with us, Jill.
Thank you, Dennis. It's great to be here.
I appreciate it. Jill, let me kick it off this way. As you've got lots and lots of competition in golf retail. What do you do or plan to do to separate yourself, to separate PGA Tour Superstore from all of your competition going forward?
Well, that's a great question, Dennis. And, we pride ourselves on many things. First and foremost, our people. We have excellent sales associates, in leadership in our stores, and that's really what sets us apart. You walk into our stores, and I know you're a good customer of ours, and you immediately feel that heartbeat and that excitement in our stores. And not only that, we carry a very broad assortment of product, and we are very dominant in certain categories that you might not see so much in the competition. And when I say that, I'm referring to the women's side of the business and the junior side of the business. We really want to be the retailer for everybody in the family.
Yeah, and that's a good way to go because I think oftentimes, especially women, I think if I'm not mistaken, Jill, you probably know this as well. I think they make up 22% of golfers worldwide. So that is a huge market. The junior market is growing as well. So that's good. There's an old saying, Jill, that goes, you can't be everything to everybody. What's the process then on what you bring into the store or not?
Yeah, well, we carry a lot of different brands in our store. And as I mentioned, there was one thing I forgot on your last question too, is our experiential, when you come into the stores, our hitting bays and our simulators and our putting green, we have people that come into our store for hours on end. But I would say, I have a great team of merchants, and they're, the big brands do a big portion of the business, but they're always looking for newness and new trends, not only in styling, but new brands. And if you look at the mix of our business today, it's very different than it was even a couple years ago. And, part of the COVID trend is people were working from home, so things got more casual. But you're seeing things get a little bit more casual on the golf course as well. You see people wearing hoodies and joggers, and and it's becoming more fun, especially on the apparel and footwear side of the business. The last couple of years, you've seen nothing but printed polos and a lot of new, fun, edgy brands. Whether it's Barstool Sports or Bad Birdie. Just you walk the selling floors, and they're just full of color. And on the hard goods side of the business, the OEMs are always coming up with great new product and technology, but you're also seeing, new gadgets on the golf course and, speakers, and there's just a little bit more of a relaxed feel around the game.
Yeah, there is that is very, very true. And people like variety, like you said, they don't want to be pigeonholed into, the top two or three brands. They like to look at startups and, different ideas that companies have. Speaking of that, Jill, you're obviously an all-star when it comes to soft goods. In merchandising those things. What help, if any, are you going to need in doing a deep dive on the hard goods that you have in the store? Because you have many.
Yeah, we do. And we are dominant on the soft goods side of the business, but we're really dominant on the equipment and an accessory side of the business as well. And, I have a team of really strong merchants. And, what I'm really proud of on the club side, actually clubs and accessories, is the team over there. Every single person on that team started in our stores at one point in time. So we're really, we really believe on promoting from within. We have a very cool culture in our company. So that group of people that work over there, they're diehard golfers, and they know exactly what to look like. And we probably carry a broader breadth of assortment on the equipment side as well versus some of our competitors. We're very disciplined. We want to have the right inventory levels and the key brands, but we always want to try new things as well. And our stores are big enough that we have the ability to do that, because you never know what the greatest new brand might be, unless you're willing to go out there and test and try, and you might not always be right. But you see the mix of business change a lot at the vendor level, and you're never going to see that unless you're trying new things.
Well, that's a great answer, because you brought me right to my next question, which is, do you have some kind of a formula, Jill, that you use to maintain or increase the levels that you bring in between hard goods and soft goods?
We do. That's an excellent question. We have a pretty solid formula, but the mix of business is very different depending on where a store is located. And really, that's where the expertise of the merchants, and we have a very solid planning organization as well. So, for example, you might have a store in Palm Desert that's doing the same amount of volume as a store in New Jersey or New York, but the mix is very different. Our resort markets sell more women's apparel, more men's apparel. The mix of business, soft goods, hard goods, is very different than it might be in the Northeast. So we really, we have a good team of people that really know how to drill down and do that. And when we open a store in a new market, we have a feel for what that store is going to do based on what other stores around it might do. But we quickly reevaluate, and we're always looking at, it's actually going to be a slightly better women's apparel store than we thought. So a lot goes into the planning process, and I think that's another thing that sets us apart. And you go into some of our resort stores, and you will be blown away by the amount of women's apparel we carry. I mean, you go into our Palm Desert store, we lead with women's apparel. We do more women's apparel business than men's. And you mentioned, the mix of women in golf is up to 25%, but 40% of new golfers are women. So we really want to make sure that, that we're focused on that right mix.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's well said. I know that you are going to the PGA show coming up in Orlando in January, as am I, and we have plans to meet, which I'm looking forward to, because you promised to buy me several cocktails. But that's not the only reason I want to meet you, though. But what is the purpose?
PGA show place is always a good place for that.
What is the purpose, though, for you going to the show as the head of PGA Tour Superstores? What are you looking for? What do you hope to get out? I know you're looking at the new stuff and this and that and the other, but what are some of the other reasons?
It's a great show for many reasons. And for us, most of all our buying from it, at that point is pretty much done. So we're not going to the PGA show to meet with our big vendors to decide what has to purchase. We've already done that. But we do meet with them while we're there. It's always good to, have those management meetings and just talk about business and what's going on. But it's a really good time to go and see some of the up and coming brands that we might not carry in our stores. There's a lot of smaller brands that you may not have heard of in the past, and it really gives us some indication of, where some of the trends are going. It's especially good for apparel, and it's very good for the technology side of the business, the accessories. So it's great in many, many ways. And, the last couple of years, we haven't gone because of COVID. So we're really looking forward to getting back out there and having a presence at the show. I mean, the PGA show is it in golf, and it's very important that we're there.
Yeah, absolutely. I know I'm looking forward to it because I think they're going to have a full house this year from the information I've been giving, and the vendors showing up, the club people showing up, and it should be very, very good. Before we take our first short break, Jill, let me ask you this. What is, in your opinion, in your experience, what is the key to good product merchandising?
The key, well, there's several things. Making sure you have the right mix at the vendor level. Make sure you have a good balance by category, meaning knowing what you should have in shorts, short sleeves, long pants, depending on climate. Because as I mentioned before, it's really important, to get it right, not only at the department level, but based on climate and volume, how much volume a store does. But it's really important too on how we present the product to the customer. And I think if you had gone into one of our stores, 12 years ago, and you go into our newer stores today, they're much more inviting. And we've, down to the fixtures and the signage. And if you go into our stores, we now have fabric signs. So if we need to quickly change out our signing, it's much easier to do. So I think presentation is important. You want to make sure that the stores are inviting to the customers, that they're easy to shop, that they know where to go, that they're being greeted when they come in. Yeah. So all those things are important. You want to buy it right, but just as importantly, you want to present it properly too.
Oh, absolutely. I totally agree with you. And as you are perfectly aware of, Jill, you kind of did a redo on the store here in Las Vegas in downtown Summerlin. Looks terrific, and I think it's going to pay off for you, no doubt about it. All right, Jill, stay with us. We're going to step away, take a short break here, and we're going to kick it off with On the Tee with JT. I have a few more commercial spots. We come back, we'll have more with our special guest, the new president of PGA Tour Superstore, Jill Spiegel. We're back right after this.
Fitness with Janice. Hi, I'm Janice Thornton with JT Fitness and Golf. Today we're going to be doing an exercise with this great big ball. So I have a 55 centimeter ball. For guys, you may want a 65 centimeter ball. We're going to do just a ball hug, and it's going to help with our upper back. So you're going to grip, just like it's talking about, stand in an athletic stance, knees slightly bent, tall posture. Grab this ball and really squeeze. Squeeze your shoulder blades together and release. Go ahead and squeeze those shoulder blades together and release. Do this about 5 to 8 times, and you want to act like you're pinching your shoulder blades together. So if you're ready to take your golf game to a new level, go to jtfitnessandgolf.com and sign up for the 90-day golf fitness program. Look forward to seeing you there.
Are you an E or a C?
Both have Ridgeback.
These are loaded with tech.
Which one are you gaming? Definitely E for me.
It's just so forgiving. I'm definitely an E.
C is for Cheka. What else?
C is for kill it.
C is me. Low spinning bombs.
So, are you an E or a C?
I don't know. Hey, wait a minute.
Pound for pound, nothing comes close.
Innovation begins at a single point. Elements, each with their unique character. Fire-forged steel creates unprecedented control. Chemistry delivers a touch so soft, combined to create a level of performance previously unimagined. Like magic, the Elixir, the new tour ball from Encore.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We're continuing a great conversation with Jill Spiegel. Do you hear that? Look at all these people in the studio, Jill, applauding. Can you hear that? That's pretty nice. Jill is the new president of PGA Tour Superstore. You know, Jill, is this a trend now in the sporting goods industry? First with Lauren Hobart from Dick's, and now you. I mean, what's going on here?
Yeah, well, it's funny because I get asked that question a lot. What's it like to be a female in a male-dominated industry in sports in general? I mean, for me, it's been great. I was an athlete in college, and so I've always gravitated towards this. Plus, my background is department stores prior to coming here. So the blend of my retail background with my sports background has been. It's been a very easy transition for me. And when I first started here, I was the only woman on the senior leadership team. But that's really changed a lot. That's now not the case. And we have a lot of senior directors that are female in our company, and I'd say we're almost at 50%. Females in our corporate office, which is great, in our store support center. So it's really changing. And, and as I alluded to earlier, 40% of new golfers are women too. So maybe it is a trend. Also when you meet with the manufacturers, that's very male dominated as well, but you're seeing that start to change too. And I think golf is just, it's relaxing a little bit, and, it's attracting new players, and it's attracting younger players. And, one of the trends that we're seeing is if you look at the average age of a golfer, it's actually dropped 8 years in just the last couple of years. The average age has gone from 55 down to 47. So in the millennial segment, it's the fastest growing segment of this sport. So it's, golf is becoming very modern and cool. And, it's really fun to see that. And I think, a lot of this indoor simulation is helping with that. These venues like Topgolf and, Drive Shack. And it's another way to experience the sport. And we're also seeing more conversion of people that are playing recreational golf or off-course golf. A higher percentage, and again, just not too long ago, it was 1%. It's up to almost 6% of those people are actually converting to the game of golf. Wow. So there's just so many different ways to take in the sport, which is great because it's, golf has always had this reputation that it's, how do you access it? And it's, it's hard to access it. But between those venues, you can come inside our stores, use our hitting bays. Yeah. There's just many, many different ways to learn and to get started.
Did you play golf, Jill, before you joined the company?
Did a little bit. I played a little. My parents were big golfers, and my mom, always encouraged me to, get out of the swimming pool and take up the game of golf because she knew that, it's a life sport. And then I kind of gave it up when I was raising my kids. And when I picked up hard goods, I had a lot of opportunities to play for work, which was great. It's a little nerve-wracking when you haven't played in 30 years to get back out there again. But the one thing I found is, I'm out there playing with scratch golfers or low handicap golfers. And the beauty of golf is, as long as you understand the rules, anybody can play it. And avid golfers are very welcoming to new people in the sport. So for me, on a career front, I'm glad I've taken it back up. I love it. I've gotten my husband into it. He plays probably 3 times a week. So
good for him.
and it's it's great for your career too, whether you're male
Yeah.
or female. It's really, going out there for 4 or 5 hours with people. It's really good for relationship building.
Yeah.
And there's studies that show that, a lot of people feel that it helps advance their career.
Really? That's
So,
interesting.
yeah, by building those relationships and spending that time and building that confidence. So golf just has so much to offer. So long answer to your question, but a little bit of exposure to it, and now it's a huge part of my life. So
Well, yeah.
to have my personal life and what I do for a profession kind of collide has been really, really great for me.
Do you guys belong to a club there where you live? And
We do. We belong to a local club. We just 3 years ago joined, and which has been really fun too. And met a lot of people and play with a group of women. And I play with my husband a lot. And yeah, it's good. It's also fun. It's good for me to also see what people are playing with, what they're talking about. It's just
Sure.
giving me one more level of exposure to the sport. Just the conversations that you're having at lunch after a round. It's just
Sure.
it's interesting to hear. It's everyone's take on the industry.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Jill, what's your criteria that affects your growth plan for the company? Because, as you know, the golf business, especially the golf industry as a whole, can be very fickle. So what do you look for in a growth
It can
plan?
be. You're right.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right, Dennis. And prior to 19, we track rounds of golf very closely. And prior to 19, rounds of golf could be up 1 or 2%, down 1 or 2%. So the industry was really flat. So for us to grow our business meant we needed to take share, open more stores. But COVID, was really good for the game of golf.
Really good.
With people
Really
working from home, you had a lot more flexibility in your schedule. Instead of getting in the car at 5 o'clock for an hour, you were able to hop on the golf course. It was perfect for social distancing. So rounds of golf on a 2-year basis are up over, close to 20%.
Yeah.
So, anyway, we've seen a lot of that, and and the industry seems to be sustaining that growth. Coming into 2022, we were holding our breath a little bit, thinking, we've picked up so much the last couple of years. Are we going to give it back? And that really hasn't been the case. So it's nice to see rounds of golf up. It's nice to see sales, maintaining sales. And we don't, there's a lot of headwinds right now, obviously economic headwinds with, inflation rates and the recession,
Right.
the potential recession. But, and not that golf is, totally immune from that, but the sport has a lot of interest in it and is hanging on, which is great to see because it had been very flat up until 19.
Yeah, very true, very true. I don't know how you feel about it, and I agree with everything you said. COVID was a huge boost. The golf courses here in Southern Nevada are all very busy, as in most of the country, but I really do expect a drop in that, Jill, as more and more people get back to work. They're not getting government subsidies. They won't have as much money to spend. And I do think it's going to flatten a little bit and get back to normal, if that's a proper word.
Yeah. And we're looking at that very closely. And, just to touch upon our growth specifically, because you asked about that, we're at 55 stores today. We're opening 3 stores in the next month. So we'll be
Wow.
58 by year end. And,
Wow.
And then our plans right now are to open at least 8 next year. So if golf is flat next year, we will continue to grow our share. We've really looked at the size of the industry and we know that there's many more places that we can go. Every
Sure.
market for us in 2022 is a new market. And, we naturally in the beginning went to the obvious places where you would have a golf store. But now, we originally weren't in the Northeast, we weren't in the Midwest, and we're really looking at the center of the country as well. So we know there's a lot more room. And the other thing we find when we go into a market is we might steal a little bit of share from our competitors, but we lift the overall shipments that go into a market. So it's good for the game, and we're helping to contribute to grow the sport.
Yeah. Any plans to open more in Southern Nevada, in the Las Vegas area? Because you've got one.
Our store there is doing very well, and we look at that. We look at the markets where we have stores, and how much volume we're doing, how many footsteps are coming in, and is it time to open store number 2 or store number 3. So we're always looking at new markets and existing markets at the same time.
Okay.
So nothing official yet, but you will be the first to know when that happens.
I would love that because I'll help you get the word out. Anyway, stay with us, Jill. We're going to take our next short break, and when we come back, we're going to finish up with Jill Spiegel. A lot of interesting information going on and learning a little bit about who she is, and we're going to find out when she's coming to Las Vegas to visit the store here in downtown Summerlin. Stay with us. We return right after this.
As golfers, we want instant gratification when it comes to a better golf swing and playing better golf. Impossible, you say? Not anymore. Golf Boost Artificial Intelligence, AI, has developed and patented the most advanced swing analysis technology in golf. Simply, the algorithms detect your body position and then analyze your golf swing using their artificial intelligence technology. The AI captures all the relevant data from your swing video and then presents you a personalized lesson. Golf Boost AI is the ultimate swing analysis and virtual instruction system for golfers of all ages and abilities. This sophisticated software takes into consideration your height and build, playing level, and returns the ideal solution for your swing. Bottom line, Golf Boost AI is an incredibly convenient and cost-effective tool for golfers to improve their swing. Go to golfboost.com and check it out. The app is free to download and try. Visit golfboost.com today.
Hi, welcome back, everybody, to more of the 19th Hole podcast for golfers. I'm your host, Dennis Silvers, having a great conversation with Jill Spiegel from PGA Tour Superstore. You got a great deal of free publicity a couple of weeks ago, Jill, when it was reported, and they had it on a lot of news outlets. I believe it was Shane Lowry broke a putter and he grabbed one out of the barrel, so to speak, when he went into one of your stores.
Yeah, he did. He went to our store just outside of Hilton Head in Bluffton, and he bought not only one putter, he bought 2. And, we get PGA Tour players in our stores quite a bit. Tiger Woods has been known to buy shoes from us. So it's fun to see. They shop our stores just like the amateurs do.
Yes. Yeah, we have a number of tour professionals that live here in Clark County in Las Vegas that I have seen in your store as well. But that's, that kind of publicity is very, very good. How much travel do you anticipate given your new position?
Quite a bit. I mean, as the chief merchandising officer, I travel a lot to see, our manufacturers, and I've always spent a lot of time in the stores, even overseeing merchandising. The stores are where you find out what you're doing well, what you're not doing well, and COVID put a little bit of a kink in that. We weren't out and about as much, but my goal is to get to every store at least once next year. I'm going to try to get out there once a week. Our stores are all over the country now, so it's hard to do that, but it's really important, and I just learn a ton when I'm out there. And our sales associates, our general managers, the whole team in the stores, they're the closest thing we have to the customer. And, we always say we're in the relationship business, not the transaction business. So the more I can be out there, really knowing what's going on, the better off I'll be. So I will be traveling quite a bit, but I enjoy it. And, our stores are in great cities. So, and I will be coming your way. Early spring.
Early spring. Okay.
Spring. Well, when does the weather get nice?
Well, I mean, it's always fairly nice, but early spring is a great time. Just let me know so I could make us a tea time. We could get out to the creek, bring a few bucks with you, because here we have a saying, fast pay makes fast friends. So, and I could use the money, Jill. So.
Okay, good.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, just don't judge my game.
I won't. It's the company, right? It's all about the customer. How much, and I think this is crucial for any business, and since we're both in the golf business, it's very crucial for this to garner trust through relationships with people that work in your store. And I think the bottom line is, Jill, correct me if you see it differently. I don't think you do, though. How important is customer service in your operation?
It is the most important thing.
Yeah.
And, our company is owned by Arthur Blank, one of the founders of Home Depot.
I don't want to interrupt you, but I will. After you're done answering, please give us, all of our viewers, a little bit about Arthur Blank, because they may not know that he's the guy. Yeah, because he's amazing.
He's the guy, and he always talks about the inverted pyramid. And the most important person in our pyramid is our sales associates, because they're the closest to the customer, and they are the most important people in the organization, and they know what's going on more than anyone. So that dovetails also into why you asked me, how I'm going to be traveling and where I'm going to be spending my time. It's with them in the stores. So customer service is the most important thing, and we really feel like that's what separates us from our competition. We have great sales associates and leaders in our stores.
Yeah. And that's so important to gain that, to gain that trust for that. I was just thinking that when you look at an area in the country like you were talking about earlier, as far as its viability, maybe weather, population center, number of golf courses around that area, and all of that stuff. All of those play a little bit of a factor in where you want to land a store, especially the competition that you have.
Yes. We look at, number of golf courses, private, public, maybe other retailers, really where golf is played, and, how close in proximity we want to be. So there's a lot of metrics that go into it.
Okay. All right. Where are the 3 new stores you're going to open, if I could ask? By the end of 2022. And do I get an invite to one of them?
Yeah, we just opened a store in Dublin, California, which is store 55. And we have 2 more in California this year. So we're opening a store in Torrance, which is just, South LA, and another store in the Bay Area, Cupertino.
Oh, great.
So right outside of Apple headquarters. So that will give us 6 stores in California by the end of the year. And then we are opening our first store in Wisconsin. We will be opening a store in Milwaukee. Yeah, and cold weather markets for us have been really, really good. So at the end of the year, we'll have 9 stores in Florida, 9 stores in Texas, and we will have 6 stores in California. And then we have, I think we're up to 5 in Arizona. So those are naturally the good golf markets. And we're looking forward to having that number of stores in California. And then next year, we're going into some new markets. We're going to have a store in Boise, Idaho, Raleigh, North Carolina. We just opened a store in Charlotte earlier this year, along with a store in Greater DC and a store in the Philly area, in Plymouth Meeting specifically. So, and then we have a lease signed in Kansas City, which will be the tail end of next year, early 24.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's fantastic. And of course, you're going to all the grand openings?
I will try. I will try to be at all of them, or at least within a week of when they open.
Okay. Yeah. You got to show up. I mean, you're the head of the company.
Grand openings are the best. So
yeah. I mean,
it's a lot of fun and a lot of excitement.
You just don't
We
hold
have people that camp outside of our stores the night before.
Are you serious? Are you
Yep.
kidding?
Yep. Yeah, when we opened our Fairfax store, I think we had close to 400 people in line, and that line sustained until 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh my goodness, that is awesome.
Yeah, the fire marshal told us we could only have so many people inside of the store, and it was one in, one out, one in, one out, until late afternoon. So no, it's quite a show. It's a lot of fun.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Good for you. Good for you. Well, again, I wish you luck in your new position. I think you're going to do absolutely great, and I know you've got some good ideas. You got some good people around you. I appreciate you taking time out of your schedule. I look forward to seeing you at the PGA show. Look forward to playing golf out here with you, and we'd like to have you back on sooner than later, Jill.
All right. Thank you, Dennis. I enjoyed talking to you.
Thank you very much. All right, Jill Spiegel, everybody, PGA Tour Superstore. All right, we're going to step away, take another short break, come back. We'll close up the store, and we're going to kick it off with Crunch Time with Carrie.
This is Crunch Time with Carrie. I'm Carrie O'Rourke from Core Golf Fitness in partnership with Dennis Silvers of the 19th Hole Podcast for Golfers, where we show you how to improve your game by improving your body. Are you able to independently rotate your upper and lower body so that you can get your maximum rotation through your backswing? Let's take a look at the lower body. I want you to hit a 5-iron posture. So think about where you'd be leaning over in your 5-iron, cross your arms, and while keeping your shoulders stabilized and steady, just move through your hips, lower body rotation. How this might look if you can't do it is that your shoulders start to move with you a little bit. Want to know how to improve your lower body disassociation? Grab a golf club, any club, put it in front of you, and use that club to stabilize your shoulder. So I'm pressing down and keeping my shoulder steady, and now I'm trying that rotation through my lower body, and you'll be surprised at how much easier that is to rotate while your shoulders are stabilized. Keep practicing, and eventually you'll be able to do that without the golf club. Want more tips and tricks on upper and lower body disassociation? I'd love to see you inside my virtual Golf Flex Academy. You can find more information at coregolffitness.com or on Instagram and Facebook, Carrie O'Rourke at Core Golf Fitness. Give this move a try and let me know how it goes.
Hey golfers, I've been a golf talk show host for a long time, and I've been playing golf even longer. Being in golf media, I've had the chance to play every ball ever made. I've tried them all. Well, my search is finally over because I found the best ball I have ever played with, and more golfers are finding the same thing. I started playing with the Elixir golf ball made by Encore Golf. Encore Golf has revolutionized both their golf balls, the Elixir or the Avant 55, or the brand new Vero X1, to where the performance of either will simply blow you away. It did me. If you're looking for better performance and durability with your ball, Encore Golf has it. Don't just take my word for it. Check them out at EncoreGolf.com, and you'll become convinced, as I am, the first time you tee it up with Encore. It's the best performing ball for the price. Go to EncoreGolf.com and see for yourself. Your scorers will love you for it. That's ONCORE Golf.com. All right, welcome back in, everybody. We're ready to close the show. I want to thank Jill Spiegel for her time because she's got a very busy schedule. So if you haven't been into a PGA Tour Superstore and you have one near you, I would go visit it. They've got pretty much everything you need as relates to golf. And I'm sure most of them, like the one where I live, close to in downtown Summerlin here in Las Vegas, has they have hitting bays where you could join as a member, come in every day and hit balls if you want. They have a couple of really top-flight teachers that will help instruct you and golf balls and just everything, club repair. clothing, so on and so forth. So if you haven't been in one, give it a shot. I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised. So anyway, that's going to wrap it up for this edition of the 19th Hole Podcast for Golfers. Again, I've been your host, Dennis Silvers, and I hope the weather is great where you are, where you're able to get out and play some golf, and we'll see you back same time, same place next week. So long, everybody.